Aries, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Aries love reading. Now, if this is your first time here and you have questions that you want answered about your romantic love life or your relationship, then start now by subscribing and clicking on that little bell icon so you always get notified anytime I post a new Aries tarot reading for you. Now let's get on with this Aries love reading for today, because today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. And I'm going to do that by getting one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you here at the end of March 2023. Then I'm going to get 3 cards for you, Aries, 3 cards for your person, and then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. So enough yakking, let's get on with this, and let's get one card for what is the mutual point of interest between Aries and their romantic person of interest here at the end of March 2023, please. I'm taking an extra one, it looks like. Let's get 3 cards for you, Aries. What's going on with Aries as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them here in March 2023? Let's get one more, thank you. Okay, now let's get 3 cards for your person. What is going on with Aries' romantic person of interest as it relates to Aries and the connection between the two of them here at the end of March 2023? Taking an extra one there. Okay. Extra cards all over the place. That's a sure sign we got a lot going on. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading is the 9 of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is an energy of being walled off and defensive about something. It's also a card of healing. This is the wounded warrior, and he's been hurt, hence the wall he builds around himself. He builds that wall because he doesn't want to be hurt anymore. He doesn't want to get hurt again or continue to be hurt. He wants to heal so he can get his energy right and move forward in the next step in his journey. So looks like we got some either wall in the way between the two of you, or one of you has been hurt here and the walls have come up kind of as like a defense mechanism. Right under that we have the Hierophant, which is a Taurus major arcana card. This is a card of commitment. It's about taking things to the next level. It's about being in a committed relationship. A lot of times this will be a marriage card or a card that signifies the relationship has gone to that next level of being a fully committed relationship. And either we have a wall in the way of that, or there is a commitment between the two of you and some walls have come up. Got the Chariot right behind that. This is a Cancer major arcana card. This is the fastest moving energy in the deck. This is about using the will to move forward past any problems or challenges or obstacles that are in the way here. It's about getting past all that stuff through sheer will alone and then moving forward very quickly in success and victory. The bad thing about the Chariot is that the driver doesn't have reins to connect himself to the beasts that pull this thing. So he uses sheer will alone to power this and to steer it and control it. So if the driver is not in alignment, this thing is either every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man, or worse yet, one side will pull one direction and the other side will pull the other way, and it'll kind of tear itself in two as it tries to move forward here. So either we're trying to overcome some sort of a barrier that's in the way between the two of you, get past some walls that have been put up in this connection, or we got somebody that's out of alignment, or possibly the two of you are pulling in multiple different directions here at the same time. I think that might be what it is here. That's the overall gist of what the reading is going to talk to me about. We'll probably have to come back to that more as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in March 2023. It doesn't always affect you both the same way. Sometimes it's a case of your person has said or done something and it's affecting you, or they've said or done something and you're feeling or acting this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it is legitimately some external thing that is somehow affecting you both. But the shared energy affecting you guys here at the end of March 2023, I got 2 cards. I normally only get 1. I got the 5 of Wands and the 4 of Wands. So the first thing I noticed, they're both wands. I got a wand here as the overall energy. So we got a lot of fire energy here, a lot of passion, a lot of desire, a lot of drive. But we're going backwards here. We're going backwards from the 5 to the 4. So this is like signifying regression and not progress, but going backwards here. Now this 5 of Wands is Leo energy. 5s are conflict. Wands are about passion and desire. So this is some sort of a conflict in the desires, like an internal conflict. Either one of you has an internal conflict where like a piece of you wants one thing and another piece of you wants something different than that. And there's this like internal struggle, this internal battle of tug of war going on inside what it is that one of you wants. Or we have an actual conflict here, kind of like I alluded to with the Chariot, where one of you is pulling in one direction and the other one is pulling in a different direction, and there's a conflict in terms of the desires of what each of you wants, and you're both pulling in different directions instead of being in alignment and both of you pulling in the same direction. Might be why we're going backwards. Might be why there's either a wall in the way of a commitment here, or some sort of a hurt has happened and a wall has come up as a defense. But this 4 of Wands is Aries energy. This is stability of the home life, stability of the family life, stability of the connection between the two of you. These 4 wands represent 1111, which is not just the number on my shirt here. That's the number of manifesting. So this card is supposed to be a celebration card of the thing that you've been trying to manifest, the thing you've been trying to create in your life, actually showing up in the physical reality. It's actually here and you can celebrate it, and it has some stability behind it. But it looks to me like that's being blocked somehow, either by this wall that's in the way, this barrier between the two of you, or by some internal conflict. I won't really know yet. We're going to clarify this and see what else we can find out. Tell me more about the 5 of Wands and 4 of Wands. Why is that the shared energy between Aries and their romantic person of interest here at the end of March 2023, please? Okay. I see. Well, hey. Well, they probably want me to show you that one too, so I'll make sure I go down far enough to see that. Bottom of the deck, 9 of Swords. This is Gemini energy of fear, worry, anxiety. This is about thinking about something over and over and over again where you can't quite shut your minds off about it, and doing that so much with so much fear and worry behind the thoughts that it's actually causing stress here. This is a card of mental anguish. It can be like sleepless nights, or having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, or having nightmares, or having trouble like eating or concentrating on what you're doing because your mind is so overactive. It's not a pleasant energy to be in, that's for sure. A lot of fear and worry here. There's that 9 of Wands again, which is the overall energy of the reading. Sagittarius energy of being walled off and defensive, an energy of being hurt and not wanting to be hurt anymore, hence the walls coming up. This can sometimes just represent that there is a wall in the way between the two of you, a wall in the way of the commitment, a wall in the way of like possibly one of you wanting one thing and the other wanting something different. Feels like the stability is thrown off here though. Got the 5 of Cups right behind that. This is Scorpio energy of sadness and remorse about the past. It's about being focused on these 3 cups that have been spilled out, and all the love and emotions that have been spilled and wasted, all the time, effort, and energy that's been spilled and wasted. And in the meantime, there are 2 upright cups still here in the background. That 2 of Cups represents a love connection, an emotional connection between 2 people. It can represent some sort of an opportunity that's being missed. If this is about a love connection, the connection itself doesn't have the focus right now. Something else has the focus. At its core, what this card is really about is what a person focuses on literally dictates the emotions that they can experience. So if someone's focused on the past, they're going to feel what they felt in the past. If someone's focused on something that they've lost, they're going to feel that loss. And if someone's focused on like something that they think is missing from their life, they're going to feel the gap in their life, and that can cause them to not have their focus in the right spot and not pay attention to the connection the way that they should, or to miss an opportunity for a connection. Definitely some sadness and remorse about something that's already happened is taking place here. It's feeling like we've had something bad has happened. Well, definitely we have. This is the card that they wanted me to show you here, because these three kind of fell off in my hand when I was trying to show you what was on the bottom of the deck. We got the Two of Swords here. This is Libra energy. Twos are decisions or choices. This represents a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made, either because there's not enough information to decide, or because someone doesn't see everything that's in front of them, hence the blindfold. Sometimes this is a case where someone doesn't want to see something, and they've got like the blinders on, and they're leaving them on purpose, almost like being in denial about something, or refusing to look at something, refusing to face it. It's kind of another meaning to this Nine of Swords. You can see how the person has their face covered, they have their eyes covered, because the situation in their mind is so, they have it represented in their mind as being so bad that they don't want to face the situation. But this represents that there is some sort of a decision that needs made in this connection, and for whatever reason, it's not being made here. Well, it looks like there has been a detachment here. I have the Eight of Cups right behind that. This is Pisces energy of detachment, like emotionally detaching, or even physically detaching and walking away. The person on the card is walking away from 8 full cups of love, and they're doing that because they think there's something better out there for them. Sometimes this can represent someone who has like that is the grass greener on the other side of the fence syndrome going on, where they think there's something better out there and they have to just walk away from what they have to go find out if there is something better out there. This is a conscious decision that someone makes, and they usually do that with some uncertainty. So a lot of times if someone walks away to see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, they realize that what side of the fence the grass is on doesn't have jackboat shit to do with how green the grass is. The grass is greener where you water it, where you nurture it, where you pour something of yourself into it, not what side of the fence it's on. So a lot of times if this is representing somebody leaving to go see if the grass is greener somewhere else, they realize it's not, and oftentimes they try to come back. Now this can also represent kind of a similar thing, but it would represent like not being fully happy with the 8 cups that you have, and realizing that the person you're with, like the best they can give you is 8 cups. It's not that they're a bad person or anything, it's just that's literally the best they can do. It'd be like if you had a basketball team and what you want is someone who can slam dunk a basketball like Michael Jordan. You probably don't want me on your team because I can't slam dunk a basketball and I'm not going to be able to. That doesn't make me a bad person. It just means the best I can do is make a shot. I can't slam dunk it. So this would represent realizing that the person can't give you any more than 8 cups, and realizing that I deserve more than 8 cups. I deserve my 9th and 10th cup. I deserve my happiness and my wish fulfillment. And I deserve that happy fairy tale love connection that we all dream of. So this would represent choosing to walk away from something that's not as good as you deserve, and going off in search of your 9th and your 10th cup. So we've got some sort of a detachment. Yeah, I've got the 10 of Pentacles right under that. That's another card that would indicate some high level of commitment here, just like the Hierophant does. This is Virgo energy. This is the combining together of 2 people or 2 families and all their assets and all their resources, combining it all into one. This would be like building a life together, building your lives around each other, like combining together as in living together or being married, or at the very least going down that path. And we have some sort, see, I've got the stability of the home and the family and the connection here that has some internal conflict around it, where there's this pulling in 2 different directions. I've got pain in the commitment, or a barrier between the commitment, and at least the desire to overcome that and try to get past it. But this can also, this Chariot can also indicate energy that's really similar to this 5 of Wands, where there's this pulling in 2 different directions happening. I've got a detachment, I've got a decision that needs to be made, and it's not being made. There's sadness and remorse. And again, the wall and the fear, worry, anxiety, and stress about all of that. Now, when I clarify this 5 of Wands and 4 of Wands as the shared energy affecting you both, I get the 5 of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is Taurus energy. 5 of Pentacles is Taurus energy. Again, 5s are conflict. This is an abandonment. This is about being abandoned, about being cast aside, about being left out in the cold. This is a breakup card. Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. This is about rushing forward and speaking the truth on something, or much more likely rushing forward and taking some really rapid, decisive action on something. The Knight of Swords is not the person who comes rushing in super fast and then sits down to read the instruction manual to figure out what to do. This is someone who comes rushing in super fast, they take some kind of an action, and then they rush right back out. And they don't think about it before they do the action. They don't think about it while they're doing the action. They come in and they do it and they leave, and they don't think about it until after it's already done. So it looks like we had a really fast breakup here, a really fast abandoning here. And I have the Ace of Cups next, which is a new beginning in love and emotions. Now this can represent two things. It could be we had this internal conflict where one of you was pulling a different way in terms of the stability of this connection. There was a breakup, they ran off really fast and started some brand new love connection somewhere else really quickly without thinking it through very much. Now they're possibly worried about it. You're possibly worried about the wall that's in the way between the two of you. There's definitely sadness and remorse probably from your end about what has been lost here. And probably from their end, definitely from their end, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but their first card is also that Five of Cups. So they probably have some regrets about what they've done here, but now they have a choice to make, and that choice isn't being made. There's just been this detaching and walking away from the Ten of Pentacles. Son of a bitch. I got the King of Wands next, and the reason I'm saying son of a bitch is because that's the card right behind the Chariot too. This is either Taurus or Virgo energy. I've got a lot of Taurus showing up here already. A lot of it. You might be dealing with the Taurus. You might be dealing with Virgo. You might be dealing with the Leo. Possibly an air sign here. I've got some Capricorn and some Leo out here. You could be dealing with any of those signs. You could literally be dealing with any sign. This is a general collective reading, so it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down who you are dealing with specifically, because I'm not tapping into your energy as an individual person the same way I would in a personal reading. I'm tapping into the collective energy of a really large group of Aries people that I get messages and advice for. So I'm just going to continue to call out all the signs as they stick out to me, just in case that has any meaning to you. But I've got this King of Pentacles here. There's a detaching from the Ten of Pentacles, and then there's the King of Pentacles, who is one half of the two people that build this Ten of Pentacles. The other half would be the Queen of Pentacles. They work together as equals to build and manage that Ten of Pentacles. So a lot of times this will represent a husband figure, or that stable, committed person that I'm building my life with. And it's looking like that person has detached here. Whoever this is that you're building your life with. I've got the Page of Wands right there next, right under that. This is news and messages and communications about passion and desire, but this is much more feeling like the minor arcana version of the Fool card here, which is someone who has the willingness to take the very first steps down a brand new path towards something they have passion and desire for. I see this detaching energy, which is about walking away from what I have and choosing to go down a brand new path, looking for my 9th and my 10th cup. So I've got two references here of walking away from the connection and going down a different path. And then I've got that Five of Wands again right here, which is one of the two cards in the mutual point of interest between the two of you. Internal conflict here. A piece of them wants one thing, a piece of them wants something different, or each of you wants something different. Looking like we got a mess here, Aries. Looking like we got a mess. I will come back to this mutual point of interest as I go through your energy, because then I can see much more clearly how that applies to you. I'll come back to it again as I go through your person's energy, and I'll see much more clearly how it applies to them. But that's the shared energy affecting you both here in March 2023. Aries, your energy and the connection is the Two of Pentacles, the Sun, and the World. The Two of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Again, it's a two. It's a decision here. This is some physical, real world, physical reality decision where you've got these options, and you're weighing the pros and the cons of the options. You can't have both of these things at the same time, so you have to pick one. But this is like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out, indecisive kind of an energy. It's like, do I or don't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Asking two questions like that. Do I turn left? Do I turn right? Do I take them back? Do I not take them back? It's that kind of a decision point here. In the far negative end of what this card can mean, it can represent someone who is juggling two people and they can't make their mind up. Just because that's showing up as your first card, like a person's first card is always the most important. For you, it's that decision. For your person, it's sadness and remorse about something that's already happened, something in the past. Just because this is showing up as the first card in your energy doesn't mean you are the one that's juggling two people. Doesn't even mean that you're the one that has the choice here. It could just be they're juggling two people. They have the decision to make and they're not making it because they're back and forth about it and can't make their mind up, and it's showing up in your first position because it's affecting you so strongly. So let me clarify that for you and see what else I can find out. Tell me about this Two of Pentacles, please. Why is this the first card for Aries in March 2023? Okay. On the bottom of the deck, there's that Four of Wands again. That's part of the mutual point of interest here. I got pulling into more than one direction, affecting this Four of Wands. This is Aries energy of stability of the home, stability of the family, stability of the connection between the two of you. Again, the Four of Wands represent 1111, the number of manifesting. So something here is affecting the stability in this connection. Probably someone manifesting some new cup of love here. Two of Wands, more Aries energy. Again, more decision, more choice here. This is a fork in the road. It's a crossroads in your life, a crossroads in this connection. This is a decision point, and it's a decision about which path leads me to the world that I really want, and which path do I have to leave behind in order to get there. Three of Cups is under this. Okay, so this is Cancer energy. It's got two meanings. It can be a happy celebration kind of a card. It can be about being united and celebrating, or being reunited and celebrating. So this can represent reconciliation energy. It's another thing this Ace of Cups can mean. It can mean like trying to fill the cup back up and start over at square one in terms of the emotions and the love and the connection. Could be that we're going back and forth about, do I do that reconciliation thing or not? Is that going to lead me to the stability that I want? The other thing this can mean is a third-party love scenario, because we do have three cups of love in the picture here. I've got definite abandonment, breakup. Someone did something really fast and probably didn't think it through very well, potentially starting a new cup of love somewhere. There's that new cup of love showing up here. There's definitely a choice about which of these two paths do I want to go down. Leo energy here of strength right under that. This is a very difficult situation that's happening here, and it's requiring all of your internal strength in order to make it through this. You have the internal strength to make it through it. You're just kind of being forced to dig down deep and find it and tap into it. Another thing this can represent is trying to tame that beast inside yourself. In other words, trying to rein yourself in, trying to hold yourself back and not do something that's too harsh or too hasty that would be some kind of a mistake. Probably really undecided about whether or not this can be reconciled here, and it's definitely not an easy spot to be in. When I clarify this Two of Pentacles here, I get Death, the Six of Wands, the Two of Pentacles again, and the Knight of Cups. Death is the Scorpio Major Arcana card. This is an ending to something. This is about something dying so it can be reborn again in a different way. If you think about a caterpillar, it's an ugly little worm with hair on it, and it goes into a cocoon, and when it comes out the cocoon, it's not a caterpillar anymore. It is a beautiful butterfly instead. So it's one of those transformation processes where you come out better than you were before you went in. The problem with it is being in that cocoon is not a party for the caterpillar. It's not fun to be in that cocoon. It's dying, it's dissolving, it's going through a painful metamorphosis, and the caterpillar aspect of itself dies, and when it comes out, it's not a caterpillar anymore. It is better when it comes out, but that transition period is no fun, and that's kind of what this is representing here. Going through a very painful, very difficult transition period, transformation here. It could also just be saying, hey, my person is juggling two people, and that's killed the connection. It's killed a piece of me. I have the Six of Wands next, which is Leo energy. I've got a lot of fire energy that I've seen so far. This is a card of recognition. So it's either about someone being recognized for something, or it's about you coming to some sort of a recognition on your own, and what you're recognizing is allowing forward movement to happen. Two of Pentacles again. It's the card I'm clarifying, Capricorn energy. Anytime I get a card and the same card comes out in the clarifiers, that's the universe beating me over the head to make sure I understand so I can relay it to you. It's like, dude, I done told you, there is a decision here in something physical, something real world that you can touch. And it could be a decision between two people. It could just be a decision between, is this dead or not? Can we move on from this or not? It could just be my person's juggling two people. It could be that there's this internal conflict that you have about the stability of the connection, the home and the family here, after an abandonment has happened, after some really fast action that wasn't thought through was taken. And it could be that we had a new person brought into the mix here. Final clarifier for the Two of Pentacles is the Knight of Cups. Knights are action takers. Cups are love and emotions. So this is actions toward love and emotions, romantic gestures, flirtatious behavior, romantic offers. It's about trying to move forward in some sort of a love offer or love connection, trying to advance something like that. It could be with more than one person, and that's what got recognized, and that's what has caused the death in this connection, either an ending to it or a very painful transformation time here. Central to your energy, Aries, is the Sun. This is more Leo energy, major arcana card. This is the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, abundance, bliss, harmony. Really hard to get a better card than that when that's what it means. So if that is what it means, it's central to your energy. So this connection was a source of happiness for you. Your person was a source of happiness for you. The other meaning to this card is illumination. In other words, this is the card that comes right after the moon. When the moon's out, it's dark outside. The moon can represent something being hidden in the dark, some secret being kept. And after the moon goes down and the sun comes up, the sun shines its light into the darkness and exposes what was hidden in the dark. So it can represent something got exposed. I've got two Leo energies here, one of something being exposed, one of something being recognized. The thing that was recognized caused death. The thing that was recognized has something to do with this Two of Pentacles. Whether that's a choice between more than one person or not remains to be seen. The reason I'm leaning toward illumination here more than happiness, again, I'm getting way ahead of myself. One of your person's last two cards is the moon. Tell me about the Sun. Why is that here, the central energy for Aries in this connection? It's a little bit of both, I think. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Wands. Again, that's the overall energy of the reading. We've seen this card a handful of times already. Sagittarius energy of being walled off and defensive. But again, it's a card of healing. That's the wounded warrior. He's built the wall because he's been hurt. He doesn't want to get hurt again. He doesn't want to keep getting hurt. Hence the wall coming up. Can also represent an obstacle in the way. A wall that's been put up between you and the King of Pentacles. Again, I've got that here in the King of Pentacles with the Chariot. So this can represent the King of Pentacles, your person, got in the chariot and got the hell out of Dodge. could represent that they're not in alignment and they are pulled in two different directions. It could represent that they have a different alignment, in other words, a different desire than you have, and you guys are both pulling in different directions. But there was some pain handed to you at their hands, and they have probably created this barrier, this obstacle that's in the way between the two of you by doing this Page of Wands bit here. This is news, messages, communications about passion and desire. This is having the willingness to take the first steps down a brand new path towards something they have passion and desire for. There's that Five of Wands again. Conflict in the desires. I'm feeling strongly that your person is conflicted about what it is that they want. I'm feeling that you are conflicted about what it is that you want with them or with this connection anymore. And I'm also feeling that at the core of the problem is they want something slightly different than what you want, and you guys are not both pulling in the same direction. You're pulling against each other here. That might be what's being recognized on your end too. There's a lot of cards out here that feel to me like they don't mean A or B. They mean A and B at the same time, and it's just different layers to the story here. When I clarify the Sun, I get the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, and the Hermit. So the Eight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. This is the card of work. It's about putting in the work, putting in the time, effort, and energy on something to get what you want. So this can represent there's a lot of happiness for you with this connection or with this person, and you're willing to put the work in on it. You don't want it to be dead, and you're willing to put the work in on it. Two of Cups is next, Cancer energy. Again with the twos, it's choices. So I've seen all four twos already. I've got the Two of Pentacles in both decks in your energy. I saw the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands in the story on the bottom of the deck, and now the Two of Cups. This is a love connection between two people. So I breathe you in, you breathe me in, we're connected, but it's a two, so it represents a choice, a decision. So it's either you have some sort of a choice about the connection itself, or there is a choice between more than one lover here. There's a work or the willingness to put the work in on this connection based on happiness here. But then there's also, beside it is this card of recognition about a connection here, about a choice in a connection here. And again, that's surrounded by the choice of juggling two people potentially, death. The final clarifier for the Sun is the Hermit. This is Virgo's major arcana card. So I've had a lot of Taurus, a lot of Virgo, a lot of Leo, some Scorpio, quite a bit of Scorpio too, actually. This is a card of withdrawal. It's isolation. It's about withdrawing inside yourself. So this can represent communication breaking down, being non-existent, or if it's not completely stopped, it's a lot different than it used to be. This is a card about doing some soul searching, some deep inner reflection, some deep contemplation, trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. Sitting right next to this decision in the physical world, like you can only have one of these two options, and it's back and forth about it, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The thing about the Hermit, it's about looking inside yourself. But this is not a choice that someone makes. Something happens and it forces hermit mode on you. No one chooses to go into hermit mode just for shits and giggles. Something happens and it forces you there. The things that usually happen are death, which we have as the first clarifier, or the Ten of Swords, like some ending to a connection, or the Five of Swords, some sort of a betrayal or a big fight, or the Five of Pentacles, a breakup. Something negative has happened to force this, and it looks like, based on what's sitting beside it, it's juggling more than one person and advancing a love offer in a different direction, going down a new path with that. There's still this element of happiness tied to it, but it looks like this uncertainty as well, where a piece of you probably wants to try and work this out, and another piece of you's probably been hurt enough that your walls are up too. Your final card here is the World. In terms of zodiac signs, this is the 4 fixed signs. So Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius. I haven't seen an Aquarius card yet, but we have seen a lot of Taurus, a lot of Leo, and quite a bit of Scorpio so far. This is the final card of the major arcana. It represents the ending of one cycle and at the same time the beginning of the next cycle. Tell me about the world, please. Why is the world here? It's the final card for Aries. This connection at the end of March 2023. Well, on the bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. Again, Knights are action takers. This is the second fastest Knight in the deck. I've got the fastest Knight in the deck here as the central clarifier for the shared energy affecting you both. This is very fast forward moving energy. It's about rushing forward and taking some rapid, passionate action on something there's passion and desire for. It's looking to me like somebody rushed off and didn't think things through first and started a new cup of love. Got taking actions on a cup of love, advancing something like that, and now I've got the card that's like really wishy-washy bullshit kind of an energy. It's someone who can be in and out and back and forth, and they can't keep committed to what it is that they say they want. They say they want something, they're really gung-ho about it, they move on it really fast, and then something happens where they pull back and they change their mind and they go in a different direction. This oftentimes gets referred to as the player of the tarot deck. It's somebody who rushes in all passionate and gets what they want, and then they go somewhere else all passionately and get what they want there too, and then they come back and forth trying to play both sides of the fence. I felt that from the Eight of Cups that I saw at the beginning of this when I looked through the story on the bottom of the deck for the shared energy. It's like someone who thinks the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, so they rush that way, and then they realize it's not, so they come back, but then they go back and forth between the two, and they can't make their mind up, and they can't make their mind up. Right under that, you can't make this up, I have the Three of Swords, Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. Third energy meaning not you, not them, some other energy. Now that third energy is not always a person. Sometimes it is. It's not always. And when it is another person, it's not always a romantic third party, although I have seen plenty of hints so far that that's indeed what we're dealing with. This third energy can be anything. Like anything that we put enough of our time, effort, and energy into is going to eventually pick up its own energy. So work, career can be that third energy. Geographic distance can be that. I've got several cards out here that could indicate travel. Central to your person's energy, I've got the World, I've got the Three of Wands here, I've got the Six of Wands here, I've got the Knight of Swords here. So I have a lot of cards. I've seen 3 Knights now. A lot of cards that could indicate travel. So it could be distance is that third energy. It could be an addiction, alcohol, drugs. It could be nosy friends, nosy family members, nosy neighbors, co-workers, anybody sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. It could be anything, really. Like if you're asking the question in your mind, well, could that third energy be blank and fill in the blank? If you're asking, then yeah, it could be that. But it's really, really looking like we got a third party here. Leo energy of strength. Leo major arcana card. Twice I've seen this now. This has created a very difficult situation for you. You're being forced to dig down deep and tap into all your internal strength in order to make it through. If this is also talking about your person like I feel like it is, this is feeling like layers here. Like, yes, this is all showing up in your energy, but it's showing up in your energy because they did something that they didn't think through first. They did something that they probably shouldn't have done, and it's affecting you. But I think this can represent that person who's struggling to tame that beast inside themselves. Like they have these desires and these urges that they want to go do, and they're struggling against that piece of themselves, trying not to make a mistake. But usually when people do that, they lose the struggle. Wheel of Fortune. Again, this represents the 4 fixed signs, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. This is a change in the luck and fortune here. This is a turn of events that changes things. If things were going good, this is the wheel spinning the other way, and it goes to hell in a handbasket. When I clarify the world, this ending of a cycle between the two of you and the beginning of a new cycle, it's feeling closely tied to this new cup here. I get the Three of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Devil, and the Tower. This Three of Wands is Aries energy. It's a step backwards again from the energy we have in the shared energy affecting you. We went from the Five of Wands to the Four of Wands. Now we're going back to the Three. The Four of Wands is the celebration of the thing that you've been trying to manifest actually being here, actually showing up. The Three of Wands is backwards from that. This is waiting on it to show up. This is an energy of waiting. It's a step beyond that Two of Wands that we saw, where it's like that choice of what is it that I want my world to be like and which path gets me there. Well, here the path has been chosen. You've already started down the path, taking actions to manifest what you want. This is the beginning stages of manifesting something. It just hasn't materialized yet. It hasn't appeared in the physical reality yet, and you're stuck waiting on it. There's this energy of working on it, and the energy of working on it and waiting on it comes after it dies. So something has changed here, and this connection has died and is going through a very difficult transformation here, and you're waiting on probably the cycle of the way it's been to end so that the stability can come back here. But there's definitely something in the way of that, and what's in the way seems to be a misalignment of some kind, where there's not pulling in the same direction. There's pulling in different directions. Ace of Swords is next clarifier. This is the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's the sword you use to make a decision with. It's the sword you use to cut away something that's not in balance, so balance gets restored, and then what's supposed to happen can happen. It's even the sword you would use to sever a relationship with. Right just to the left of it is the relationship being severed. There's something that gets recognized about the relationship that either is a truth that comes out, or waiting on truth to come out, or this is a severing. The next card is the Devil. This is Capricorn's major arcana card. This is a heavy toxic energy. This is obsession. This is addiction. This is a feeling of being trapped by something, feeling like you can't escape something. If this is talking about the relationship itself, it would mean that it's got so much magnetic pull to it, so much gravity like the sun, that you can't really break away from it, or at least you feel like you can't break away from it. If this is talking about the relationship, it's got a level of toxicity to it. It's a distorted relationship. It's not a divine relationship, meaning it's not in alignment with the way the energy was intended to be, of divine masculine and divine feminine, and that divine connection. It's not divine. It's not in alignment with the way it was meant to be. Therefore, it's distorted. This could represent a whole lot of things. It can even represent an element of your shadow or your person's shadow. In other words, a piece of one of you that you don't like, and you don't want the other person to see it, or they don't want you to see it. And there's an element of denial to this. Like, if this is them, they don't want to see that piece of themselves, and they refuse to admit that it's there. Or it could be applying to you too. There could be something here that you don't want to see, that you don't want to admit to. Maybe it's the toxicity of it, but that's the truth of the matter, that there is toxicity here. This is not a good energy. It's sitting next to the Hermit. So this is about something deep-seated inside of someone that usually comes from pain of some kind, where someone has been hurt and they never went through the actual work to do the healing on that. They just kind of repressed it and shoved it down into the shadows of themselves and kind of pretended like it didn't happen. Only it did happen. And this is still in there, and it doesn't want to be ignored. There's a lesson to learn from pain, and if you ignore the pain and don't address it, it's going to get your attention one way or another. So it'll cause people to do like unconscious things where they don't realize they're doing it, or they don't have control over it. It has control over them, and it makes them do dumb stuff. It's right next to the Hermit, which is about going inside yourself and shining your inner light down in the shadows of yourself, trying to uncover this kind of stuff, asking questions like, what is it about me that's misaligned, that needs adjusted, so that I can fix that. I can have the courage to face it and fix it, and then be able to move forward here. It's feeling like your person has got some stuff about them that they can't control. I mean, I've got this wishy-washy, in and out, change my mind kind of an energy. I've got an internal conflict. I've seen strength several times where there's these desires that they're trying to tame, and they lose the battle with that. Ultimately, it leads to the Tower here. This is the collapse of some important structure in your life. Sometimes that's the relationship itself comes crashing down, and now nothing's the same as it was the day before all of this stuff gets uncovered. This can represent the collapse of a belief system. In other words, like a mental model of the world that you are operating from, where you believed that this connection had stability to it. You believed that there was a commitment in this connection. You believed that this person was your source of happiness, and central to the whole energy here is the love connection. You believed that this was a good, healthy relationship, and then something happens to shatter that belief right in front of your eyes, and now it's like the record has been scratched and nothing's the same anymore. This is like a game changer type of an energy here, where something important to you came crashing down. That's your energy in the connection. Let's take a look at your person's energy here for March 2023, because in their energy we have the Five of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and then these two came out together at the end. We got the Moon and the Fool. Five of Cups, we've seen it already. It's the Scorpio energy of sadness and remorse about the past. It's about being focused on the three cups that have been spilled, all the love and emotions, time, effort, and energy that's been spilled and wasted. There's still two upright cups in the background, so there still is a connection that this person feels, but that Two of Cups that's in the background is also a choice. And it could be a choice about the connection with you. It could also be a choice about the connection with this other person that it looks like they started a connection with. And now it's possible that they have a choice between more than one person. And it doesn't matter what they pick, something's going to get spilled out. And now they have sadness and remorse about it, possibly sadness and remorse about leaving and making this breakup happen, sadness and remorse about the actions that they took really abruptly without thinking it through, bringing another cup in. And at the same time, they still have an internal conflict themselves here. They still have a wall in the way here of this commitment. A piece of them wants you, and another piece of them looks like it wants another person. So let me clarify this. Tell me more about the Five of Cups. Why is this here for Aries romantic person of interest at the end of March 2023, please? Yeah. Bottom of the deck. Page of Wands. News, messages, communications of passion and desire. Again, this is the minor arcana version of the Fool. The Fool is one of their last two cards that came out. So this is a much more toned down energy than the Fool. This is not someone who just throws caution to the wind and leaps off the cliff. This is someone who has the willingness to take the very first steps down a brand new path towards something there's passion and desire for. Nine of Wands, that's the overall energy here. I've seen this card way more than I'd like to see it. There's some wall in the way. There's been some pain that's happened, and walls have come up based on the pain. King of Pentacles. So this is either they have their walls up because they've been hurt in some way, or they are the one putting the wall in the way because they took this step down a new path. When I clarify the Five of Cups, I get the Six of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Lovers. Wow, you can't make this up. I'll tell you that in a second. Six of Cups. We have progressive energy here. So far the whole time I've seen regressing energy, like energy that's going backwards from the 5 to the 4 to the 3. Now I've got energy that's moving forward here, going from the 5 to the 6. This is also the card of the past. It's also Scorpio energy. This is thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, thinking about the good old days and the way things used to be between the two of you. It can even represent someone from their past making a comeback. Now, whether that's them wanting to come back in and fill this cup of love up with you, I don't know. I don't have enough that tells me that that's what it is yet. This could be, if it's talking about this other person they brought in, it's someone from the past in that sense. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's someone that they used to be with before you, although it definitely can mean that. This would represent someone that's not a brand new person. It would represent someone that they already have some kind of a history with, that they've already known for some period of time. That could represent someone that they work with. It could represent someone that they were just friends with. It could represent someone that maybe they used to go to school with, or someone that they just happen to know in some way. But it's not a brand new person. Next, I have the King of Wands, which is either Leo or Sagittarius energy. I've seen a lot of both, so it's hard to tell here. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person that knows exactly what they want and they go after it. They don't take no for an answer. They don't let obstacles and roadblocks get in their way. This is not the person who just gives up and quits. This is the person that's going to find a way to get what they want, or they're going to make a way to get what they want. It's someone who's usually really good looking and charming and charismatic. On the negative sense of this, it is the King of Wands, and the wand is the phallic symbol of the tarot deck. It represents the male phallus, using it to be intimate, sexual energy, sex. So this isn't just someone who's very driven and motivated. It's someone who can be driven and motivated by passion and desire and sex. It's the pinnacle of that wand suit. I've got the Page of Wands here, taking the first steps down a new path toward passion. A second ago, I had the Knight of Wands on the bottom, that wishy-washy player type of an energy who rushes forward really fast toward passion and desire. Now I've got this person showing up as the king of that suit, as in a lot of passion and desire here. Final clarifier is the Lovers. This is the Gemini Major Arcana card. I know a lot of people, a lot of readers will try to tell you that this is the Twin Flame card, but this card actually has nothing whatsoever to do with Twin Flames. At its core, this card is really about the interconnectedness between people. It's like if you're in a relationship, you can't make decisions that affect solely you. It also affects the other person that you're in a relationship with, as you can see from what's transpired here. It's about the interconnectedness between all human beings. In other words, we all are standing on the shoulders of the people that came before us. I couldn't give tarot readings to you if someone hadn't created the tarot system. I couldn't give readings to you without this table, and someone had to invent tables. Someone had to make this table. Same with the camera. Someone had to invent cameras and video cameras and all of that stuff. Someone had to invent the internet and YouTube, for that matter. So we're all building upon what others before us have built. So it means that, and a long, long time ago, before this card was called the Lovers, it used to be called the Choice. So it can represent a choice in a powerful love connection. Just like we see in center to your energy here, this choice about the connection. It can also mean a choice between more than one lover here. At no point in time, though, did this card ever mean twin flames. In fact, if you look the twin flame crap up that all these readers talk about, you'll find out that some lady invented that term in the 70s, and she did that because she had courses and books that she was trying to sell, and she required you to believe in that bullshit in order to get you to buy the books and the courses that she had on sale. This goes back to this card. It's connected directly across the aisle from it here. Notice anything similar about these two cards? It's the same two people on the cards. This is card 15 of the Major Arcana. In numerology, you would take 15, 1 and 5, and you add those two numbers together to get 6. This is card 6 of the major arcana. So these cards are connected in multiple ways. It's not just with the people on the cards, it's the numerology of the energy itself. This is supposed to be a divine connection. In other words, a divine feminine who is fully in alignment and balanced the way feminine energy was intended to be when feminine energy was created. A divine masculine, someone who is fully in alignment with the way masculine energy was intended to be when it was created. But this is not a divine connection. This is a distorted connection. And here the people, same two people, but here they've grown horns and tails because being in this toxicity, being in this distorted energy has altered who they are. It's distorted them. And that's what it's talking about here in this connection. There is a level of distortion here, and there is a conflict in this person's desires about which of these two people do I want, this person from my past or you. Central to their energy is the 8 of Wands, more Sagittarius energy. This is the second fastest energy in the deck. The only thing faster is the Chariot, and it's only faster if the driver is in alignment. If the Chariot driver isn't in alignment, this thing is every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man, or worse yet, it tries to go down 2 separate paths at the same time and it tears itself apart. This is fast energy. It's even faster than this Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands that we saw. So this is very fast forward movement on something there's passion and desire for. It can be rapid back and forth passionate communications. I've seen quite a bit of that going on for your person here. This is also a lot of energy. This can be a card of travel. We've got several cards of travel out here, so there could be geographic distance between the two of you now. This is also a lot of energy coming at your person all at one time. It's like an overwhelming amount of energy. It's too much to handle, too much to deal with, too much to process all at once, and they're feeling overwhelmed. Tell me more about this 8 of Wands, please. Why is the 8 of Wands here for Aries person of interest? Bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. So again, with the really fast forward moving energy, I think this person either went really quickly starting a new cup of love somewhere, or they really quickly abandoned you and left. This is wishy-washy bullshit, back and forth, can't make my mind up kind of an energy here. It's a player energy going back and forth between more than one person. Wheel of Fortune, that's what's changed everything here. It's turned the luck and fortune of this whole connection. 3 of Swords, you can't make it up. Third energy involved that's causing heartbreak and sadness here. Strength, Leo's major arcana card. Difficult situation they've created for you. It's also difficult for them, and they had this internal struggle related to wanting to take action on some passionate thing. I don't think they could control the beast inside themselves, though. Like, seriously, do you really think that if the lion wants to get away from her that it can't do it? Like, the lion could overpower her, no problem. So this is like your conscience, and this is all those innate internal drives that we have, and she's trying to control that and tame it. But it can definitely get out of control, and the person loses their struggle with themselves. I think they fought it for a while. There's more Leo energy there, 7 of Wands. This is about being walled off and defensive, though. It's about trying to defend a position or defend a stance on something, or trying to fight off some external energy that's coming at them. But this can also represent trying to fight off and defend against accusations that are coming at them. High Priestess is under that. That's she who knows. That's the intuition. That's the gut feelings. It's the signs, the synchronicities, the dreams with messages in them. That's the internal knowing. This could definitely be a case of you recognize this not because you actually saw what was going on, but intuitively you picked up on it. You could just, you could just feel it, and maybe started accusing them. And all of your energy is coming at them, and they're like, no, it wasn't me, I didn't do that. But then the truth comes out, and they did do it. When I clarify this Eight of Wands for your person, I get the Four of Pentacles, the Moon, and the King of Swords. Four of Pentacles is Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. It's sitting right beside the person from their past. So either they have someone else that they know already, they don't want to let go of them. This very well could represent you as well. If you guys have had a breakup, then you would be the person from the past as well. That's the weird thing about energy and time, is technically 2 seconds ago is the past. So this could represent you or the other person, or both at the same time. And it could be that they don't want to let go of either of you, and they're overwhelmed, and they have this choice to make, and like they're looking at everything they've screwed up, but they're conflicted about which one do I want. I've got the Moon next, which is fear, worry, anxiety, about uncertainty. It can also represent secrets being kept, something being hidden in the dark. It's sitting right next to the King of Wands, the person that has all this passion and desire and drive and sexual motivation. Oh, no. I'm getting ahead of myself again, but they also have the Moon from the other deck as the next card I'm going to clarify. So, looking like they had something that they were trying to hide. King of Swords is their final card. This is either Gemini or Aquarius energy. This is a decision maker. This is the person who makes the decisions. It's also someone who's very emotionally detached when they make their decisions. We saw the Eight of Cups right at the beginning. Emotional detachment. I've got this Knight of Swords, this decisive action taker who didn't think things through first. This is a person who does not want to acknowledge their emotions. They're human. They have emotions. We all do. They just don't want the emotions. This person gets overwhelmed by their emotions because their emotions bring up sadness, remorse, regrets, guilt, bad, negative feelings, anxiety, stress, like worry, fear. They don't want those emotions. So this is someone who doesn't let their emotions get involved in their decision making. They throw the emotions out the window and they decide based on logic and reason and facts and what do I see in front of me, what do I already know to be true. Meanwhile, it's sitting right next to this Lover's card, which used to be called the Choice. Choice is just another word for decision, and this is the decision maker. So they're the one that has the choice, and as we saw from the beginning, Two of Swords was in there, decision that needs made that hasn't been made, probably because your person wants to hold on to both of you and would probably prefer to keep things hidden in the dark. Final card for them was Two, the Moon and the Fool. Again, fear, worry, and anxiety, something being hidden in the dark, secret being kept. Looks like that secret was related to the Fool, which is the first card of the Major Arcana. I've got the last card of the Major Arcana as your final card. The first card is their final card. This is the ending of one cycle, and at the same time, the beginning of the next cycle by starting over again at 0 at the Fool. So this is a full completed cycle between the two of you. I've seen the Wheel of Fortune a couple of times too. That's also a cycle that is spinning and is now completed. This is taking the blind leap of faith on something. It's just saying, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for it. They don't think things through. They just do it. Just like this Knight of Swords. This is, I'll figure it out as I go along. It can also represent foolish behavior, risk-taking behavior, taking risks outside of the connection, and that being hidden in the dark and kept secret. Or now possibly having fear, worry, and anxiety based on what they did. Again, this is the person who does it without thinking first or while they're doing it. They do it first, and then they think about it after it's already too late. It's already happened. Tell me about the Moon and the Fool. Why is that here for Aries romantic person of interest at the end of March 2023? Yeah, you don't say. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Right back to where we started, the Nine of Wands. That is the overall energy of the reading. The walls coming up. They're probably blocking communication with you. There's an element of hurt here. probably on both sides. You've probably been hurt by what they did. They're probably hurt by what they did. Probably hurt because they can't control themselves and they did something that they shouldn't have done. I don't know what this is other than someone's been hurt and there's been a wall put in place here. The hurt comes from the Page of Wands. Passionate communications, taking the first step down a brand new path. Again, that's the minor arcana version of the Fool. The Fool is one of the cards I'm clarifying here. Eight of Cups, Pisces energy of detaching emotionally, detaching physically walking away, going down a brand new path toward what they believe is their own personal happiness and wish fulfillment, and the 10 of Cups that they want. Seeing if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. The Hierophant. They were in a committed relationship with you, possibly married, possibly living together. At the very least, the relationship itself was a committed one, where it's supposed to be just you and them. And there's the Five of Cups again. That was their first card. Sadness and remorse about the past. The connection's still there, but that's also the Two of Cups. It can represent a choice between two people. A choice in the connection with you, a choice in the connection with them, a choice about which one do I want. And look at all the love and emotions that they've spilled. This is why they have all these negative emotions, and this is why, okay, they don't want to feel their emotions. When I clarify the Moon and the Fool, the Emperor, Six of Swords, the Fool again. The Emperor is the Aries major arcana card. This is about taking control of a situation, taking charge of a situation, putting boundaries in place, barriers in place. This is also someone who is a master manifester. This is someone who has all the tools and abilities and resources to put together the plan to get what they want, and then to execute that plan to get what they want. This is usually someone who puts up this front of being in control, but a lot of times when someone, it can get really easy to cross that line of from being in control into being controlling. So if this is someone who has crossed the line into being controlling, it would be because they can't control those parts of themselves. And because they can't control those parts of themselves, they try to exert their control on external stuff, the situations, the other people in their lives, and they try to control that. There's definitely something that they're holding on to they don't want to let go of, and something from their past also that they don't want to let go of. This could just represent you showing up in their energy. This could represent that they are the ones in control of this situation. It's their decision to make, and they haven't made it yet. The next card is the Six of Swords, which is Aquarius energy of moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving the rough, choppy waters of the past behind. This could represent that they're leaving Aries behind and moving forward into some new beginning somewhere, which is what looks like it happened. Breakup card, abandonment, happening really, really fast. New beginning. At its core, this card is about moving away from something painful. It's about moving away from the Five of Swords, which is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event, a betrayal. It's moving away from that, leaving that in the past, and moving forward toward what they want. It looks like they were doing that and tried to keep it a secret. They had already started this whole process of being the Fool here and just saying, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for it. I don't need to know what all the steps are from beginning to end before I take the first step. I don't need to know how this is going to work out, what's the end result going to be before I take the first step. I'm just going to say screw it, and I'll jump off the cliff right now, and I'll worry about growing wings on my way down. I'll figure it out as I go. They just did it. And I think they tried to hide it and keep it a secret from you, that they were leaving you behind and moving on and starting something new somewhere else. Again, first card of the major arcana, it's in the same column as the Fool again, so that's the universe beating me over the head. Dude, they started a new beginning somewhere, probably taking foolish, risky behavior outside of the connection. Your last card is the ending of the cycle between the two of you and the beginning of a new cycle. Now, if you still have questions about this situation or your relationship, click on any of the videos that just appeared on your screen right now. When you do, you'll be taken to more Aries love readings that can give you more insight and more clarity about what's really going on in your particular situation. And I'll see you in the next video.